You know what day it is today? It's payday. I am ecstatic. Then again, by Friday, I'll just be broke. That means I should probably do a rum replenishment today. A rum rep, if you will. Now, man, the rum rep detail. Yes.
Today is a day for rejoicing.
Why? Because Pusser's Rum has finally come back to Northern California. Thank God. It's been almost a full year since I've seen it anywhere. Blamed on supply chain issues, which is a succinct way of saying that a bunch of bottles of rum were stuck on a container ship off the coast of Los Angeles, unable to make port because some toilet paper carrier was deemed more important by the powers that be, the dirty bastards. Don't they realize that they could have just cut out the middleman by bringing in the rum first? I mean, if all you do is drink rum, you won't have to shit. If you don't have to shit, you don't need toilet paper. Rum is clearly more important. Whatever. The Pussers is back in the Locka liquor locker, and that's really all that matters. But tonight is not for Pussers. I'm glad I didn't throw that somewhere else. Tonight is for Manhattans. This episode was postponed due to me having bitch-ass coronavirus, which, as it happened, robbed me of my senses of taste and smell. I'm happy to report that I am negative, and my senses have returned. Maybe I've returned to my senses. Unlikely. So tonight I've come to finish what I've started. Good evening, shipmates, schoolmates, and playmates, cohorts, consorts, and companions. Welcome to another melodramatic episode of Before the Mast, a show where I mix cocktails and drink them for your edification. And I tell you about the things that have happened and things yet to happen to yours truly. Tonight, we dive into the final episode, Manhattan 5, the MANHAPPENING. Today I'm going to line up all 4 Manhattans that we've tried in the past so I can see which one I like best. Since we've already went over how to build all these cocktails in previous episodes, I'm just going to bring them forward so I can knock them back. I will say that I'm using Slow and Low Rye and Martini and Rossi Vermouth for all of these cocktails. To the Locka Lounge. How you doing? Let's get these cocktails lined up. Farewell and adieu to your dear Spanish lady. Farewell and adieu to your ladies in Spain. For we received orders for to sail back to Boston. Never no more shall we see you again. So there they are, all four Manhattans in a neat little row. Classic, sweet, dry, and perfect. Let's see which one suits me better. Well, first one we're trying is classic. Bottoms up. You know, it's really not bad. The first time I did a classic Manhattan, it was with Jack Daniel's Rye, and I will be honest, that was well, that was absolutely disgusting. This is palatable. It's not really what I would order. Because this is like one of those drinks you drink 3 of them and you're done for the night. I'm more about longevity. And yeah, but you can't ask for much more than that. All right, let's try sweet. Now I expect that this will probably be my favorite because I have a tendency towards sweet drinks. We'll see. Cheers. Oddly enough, I find that a little boring. It's definitely not sweet, as the name would imply. What this does is the sweet vermouth kind of knocks out the spice of the rye, so it's not quite as flammable going down your throat. I might say this is a lot like the classic, except for it just tastes duller. It's not quite as potent, even though don't be fooled. It's just as potent. It has the same amount of alcohol in it. But you could probably throw these back a little easier. Let's go to dry. Dry Manhattan. Well, here we are. not really a fan of the dry drinks personally. I feel like dry drinks are for people who are trying to prove something. Like, look, I can drink gin straight with just a dash of dry vermouth. Oh, la-di-da. Well, let's try it. Here we go. Yeah, that doesn't really do it for me. It's not bad. It's just not good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to drink this. I feel like wasting alcohol is a crime. But I might try this later when my taste buds don't really give a shit what I'm putting in my mouth. All right, perfect Manhattan. Is it really perfect standing up to the other three? Let's find out. Yeah, it's got a good smooth finish. You definitely get the rye. The rye is in there. It's center stage, but the two different vermouths, I think, really help the rye shine without being too alcoholic. You definitely get some of the bitters. I put 3 dashes in each one of these. I wanted to make sure that they were all pretty much the same. So 3 dashes of bitters in each. So they all have the Angostura taste. Not bad. I don't like that one. That one's a little rough. Last one, bottoms up. Yeah, not a fan. Not bad, just not exactly a fan. Honestly, I don't know which one is my favorite. Maybe the perfect, maybe the classic. I don't know, I can't make up my mind. If you have a favorite, tell me down in the comments. Speaking of not being able to make up my mind, as most of you know, I served in both the Navy and the Army. Twice. Each. My service went Navy, then Army, then Navy again, and then finally I took the Army to the finish line. Or maybe the Army just drove me into the dirt. But by the time I did my first stint with the Army, I'd already been in the Navy for 8 years. I was firmly ensconced in my sailorly ways. I was institutionalized. Well, my first physical fitness test in the Army, I was on my 2-mile run, and the commander of the company ran up on me. He said, "Sergeant Burks, pick up the pace. You have to run this in 16 minutes. Well, instinctively I said, "Aye, sir." He stopped and looked at me like I cussed at him in Greek. And then he said, "Aye. In the Army we say huh." Well, not having heard this word actually vocalized before, it was my turn to be confused. And so I said eloquently back to him, "Huh?" And without skipping a beat, zero irony, Commander said to me, "Exactly," and then ran off ahead. Such was my introduction to Army life. My time as a sailor prior to being a soldier had led other soldiers to have pretty inspired ideas about me and how good of a soldier I could possibly be. Well, in the end, I showed them. In infantry school, they pretty much drop you in the middle of the wilderness with a map, compass, and your rifle, and a couple canteens of water. And then they say, "See you back at camp." Well, the instructors were shocked when I was the first one back. Not just by a little. The majority of the class showed up a few hours later to find me smoking cigarettes and joking around with the instructors. Most of the other trainees were former soldiers or former Marines who were going through this as a refresher. I think there was one Air Force guy. Yeah, he doesn't matter. They were all confused how this squid got back before them. I didn't tell anybody that my time as a sailor included a lot of navigation. Of course, there were some hard lessons learned too. In the Navy, I had no occasion to shoot or work with machine guns. This didn't happen. In the Army, as an infantryman, forget about it. Found myself in the prone, hugging an M249, blazing away at a target. They give me this weapon with very little instruction beyond, this is the charging handle, this is the safety, and this is the trigger. Well, I held this weapon just a bit incorrectly. and with my first short 7-round burst, spent shells went flying out the ejection port, tearing my left pinky to shreds and spraying blood all over the place, including my face. It didn't really hurt, so I just continued firing, unknowingly wiping blood out of my eyes with my injured hand, thereby just wiping even more blood onto my face. Ceasefire was called. We cleared our weapons. We stood up and waited for the range safety to come and check our weapons. Well, the range safety got to me. He about had an aneurysm. Medic! He told me to sit down, and I was confused. Then I remembered the blood bomb that blew up in my face. He thought I had somehow shot myself in the face. Oh, it's just my pinky, I told him. The medic came and looked me over. Said, this is worth at least 2 stitches. But see, I knew his game. He wanted me to be his guinea pig for a suture study. No, sir. I said, this is barely a Band-Aid, wrapping it in an MRE napkin. The instructors were watching. We had war games at the end of our 3-week training period. My team wanted to set up a hasty ambush, but we needed to figure out how to get the other team, who entrenched themselves across from us in a stalemate, neither team willing to stick their heads up. Well, I told my team that I had really bad gas from the chilly MRE that I had had that morning. Well, they already knew this because I'd been killing it all morning. I told them that I would go upwind of the opposing team, crack a fart that would make them more inclined to move. It took me about an hour to get around to their rear without being found out. I creeped up to within just about 5 yards of one of the guys. Well, I ripped one so loudly and so foul, and then waved it in the direction of the poor bastard who was taken surprise, and he jumped up. Oh, what the fuck, man? That smells like shit, dude. His teammates all jumped up thinking that we must be behind them and that I had accidentally given our position away. Well, they realized their mistake when they were routed by my team across a ravine and in front of them at a distance of about 25 yards. Yeah, I got killed in the process, but my team won, and the instructors were watching. Well, at the end of infantry training, all soldiers are given an eval. I was brought into the office of the first sergeant. He handed me my eval, which said 4.0 soldier, recommended for machine gunner, and it went on to say in the comments, shits himself at will, no matter what, believes it's just a flesh wound, and this is one crazy fucking squid. I kept that eval for a long time. I kept it in the same spot I kept my 2.5 eval from NAS Lemoore. That said I wasn't worth promoting, but then went on to state that I saved the Navy millions of dollars. And my eval from the USS McCampbell, which called me a 4.9 sailor and said that I was ranked number 12 out of all E5s on the waterfront, and that they must promote now. And then they didn't promote me, and that's how I got in the Army again. But then in the process of 8 moves, they got lost in the shuffle. I'm sure they're somewhere, I just don't know where. But that is the quick story of my transition from sailor to soldier. Speaking of transitions from sailor to soldier to sailor to soldier to civilian, I will be transitioning back to sailor this coming month. This time as a Marlin Spike sailor on a 18th century brig, the Lady Washington. I'll be serving as a part of the crew and, more importantly, as the ship's very first ever artist in residence. This is a huge opportunity, but I will need help getting there. Below in the description is a link to the GoFundMe account to help me with this. Funds will go to travel, art supplies, clothing for the purpose of this expedition, and hopefully a GoPro so I can share this experience with you, my tens of loyal viewers. Every little bit helps. Thanks. I was asked last week by a friend of mine if I garnish every drink I make. And if so, what's the point? Well, friend, garnishes are a good device to keep track of how much you've drank. And this comes in handy if you're trying to limit yourself. And that's why I garnish every drink. Do you have a question to ask this bosun mate? Ask me down in the comments. Got a drink you want me to try? Throw it down in the comments too. Did I do something wrong? Oh. Good luck finding somebody that gives a shit. Cheers.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises.
I don't like that one. Oh. Excuse me. But good.